Hello there. Recently, the 7th National Assembly embarked on an assessment of its performance within the first 2 years of the present administration. Now, while some of us may applaud the lawmakers, others feel they are yet to settle down to the business of lawmaking. Since 1999 to date, the ruling People's Democratic Party, the PDP, has held sway in the National Assembly with particular focus in the Senate, as the majority, of course, prompting perhaps agitations and calls from the opposition parties, that is, those who make up the minority, for a change. One of those is the Action Congress of Nigeria, the ACN, who feels that a lot more can be achieved in the legislature in providing good leadership, which it believes will also rub off on the executive arm. Our guest this week is Senator Mudashiru Hussain, representing Osun West Senatorial District, as he bears his mind on some issues like the debate on oversight functions of lawmakers while dealing with the threat of corruption, the unending tussle between the National Assembly, that's the Senate in particular, and the executive over the President's amendment of the 2013 budget, the likely chances of the APC merger to dislodge the PDP in the 2015 elections, and most importantly, his contribution to making sure that his federal constituency feel the impact of government with the presence of capital projects and a lot more. Now, Senator Hussain is on the platform of the Action Congress of Nigeria and is also the Vice Chairman of the Senate Committee in Sports in the hallowed chamber. It promises to be exciting. I'm Ayatunde Balogun, and you're welcome to Question Time. Senator Mudashiru Hussain, you're welcome to Question Time.
Thank you very much.
Now, it's a great pleasure to have you with us on this week's edition of the program. We're taking a look at the National Assembly. Of course, you're a senator representing Osun West Senatorial District on the platform of the ACN, that's the Action Congress of Nigeria. Now, of course, we shall be taking a look at your, foray into the ACN and, of course, representing your people. We'll come to that later. But let's start off, looking at it on a wider scale. The National Assembly as it is presently, the 7th Assembly. What's your assessment of the Assembly so far?
Thank you. I think so far so good. If you look where we are coming from and where we are today, of course, there's no doubt in my mind that we must give a kudo to the 7th Assembly members. Why? Because of the comparison between the 6th Senate and the 7th Senate. So this time around, I think we have people who are committed. We have the zeal of people in mind, and towards the legislation that we are assigned for, I think we are not do bad under the leadership of the Senate President, David Mark. He's a very focused man, and whenever you have somebody like that in a fear of arm of government, you have a level to work because he doesn't condone any lazy things. So by that, I think 90% of us, 90% are committed towards the good governance of this country. So I give a kudo to this 7th Assembly.
All right, you've given a thumbs up for the National Assembly, in terms of lawmaking and other activities. Of course, we know that the three functions, there's the oversight, there's the representation, and of course, making laws, which is the primary thing. But let's come to the issue of, making oversight functions, which many people over time have always come out to say, perhaps the National Assembly aren't really doing enough in that area. And I say this because, of the allegations of corruption, leveled against some of your colleagues, but with particular reference now to the Senate, the upper house. What would you say has been responsible for the inability of the Senate to really, discipline, or should I say, yes, discipline, that's the key word, in some of the members in terms of a fight dealing with corruption?
Yeah, let me lay emphasis on that controversy between the oversight function of National Assembly members, especially on this in the Senate. We do have oversight function because it's our primary responsibility, through the constitution of this country and our rules. the difference between the executive and the National Assembly is through the oversight function and balance, check balance of one arm of government and the other. If there's no oversight function, of course, there's nothing National Assembly can do or to check the executive of their excesses. When we are in the executive session, talking to members that look, yes, we are the ruling party, but that does not mean that if there's any wrongdoing, we should not come out vividly. So if we as National Assembly member want to do our job, this country will have been better than this way.
So what do you really think is the problem? I mean, what can you say that is responsible for some of these challenges?
Lack of commitment.
On whose part?
Lack of course, let me say both of us.
When you say both, who are you talking about?
All of us, in general. Either a member of ruling party or a member of opposition party. But there's little things the opposition party can do. That's why I will say the progressive and the opposition party, if you can march together and take over the leadership of this country, things will change. That's how we have changed in our logo now.
But of course, the ruling party will always disagree with you on that comment, because every 4 years we have elections, we have candidates who come out representing their various parties, and Nigerians make their choices by going to the ballot box to elect those who will represent them.
I disagree with you. I don't think Nigeria, I don't think the election in this country is fairly counted in favor of the choice of the people. Okay? If the election is one vote, one man, one vote,
which is
of course, I don't think the ruling party can have a majority in this country again. You yourself, you saw what happened for the past 3-4 years. It's only election of 2011 that was a little bit fair. Corruption in this country has been an epidemic. Either in civil service, either in a political era, either in all sectors. But if you have people who are committed and who have the zeal to change this country to a better country, I think the opposition should come together.
I guess we're going to have to come back to that one. You're talking about the opposition, groups are coming together to perhaps form some kind of an alliance. But let's even, still look at the assessment, of this present administration. Recently, Mr. President, presented a scorecard during his midterm report, and even went on to say that he gave the Nigerians the opportunity, to score his administration. The freedom for Nigerians to say, okay, this is what you have done within the last 2 years. We will score you and then say, okay, perhaps you've done well or you've done, otherwise. What's your own reaction, or what's your own assessment of that move?
Well, I'm sorry. For the past 2 years that I've been in this system, honestly, if I want to talk or speak on a free mind, forget about I'm a ACN or PDP, I will score Mr. President low. I was laughing when I was listening to his speech the other time during the Democracy Day. I look around. What is he talking about? Is it in terms of road network? Go and look Lagos Ibadan. That's what I can say. Other other region, other zone. All federal road. What can we say about it? Is it hospital? Is it the medical care? Is it unemployment? In my own office, I have over 2,000 applications. That Senator,
applications
please,
for employment.
For employment. That please, Senator, we need your recommendation. We need your recommendation. And what are we going for? If you cannot cater for the young people of this country, so it should resign.
The federal government, under the leadership of Mr. President, has come up with some schemes, to deal with that problem of unemployment. Would you say it's not really enough?
We have been listening to that promising. Look, God has blessed us in this country. I was a member of House of Representatives from 1999 to 2007, and by the grace of God, I'm in the Senate also. I know the idea of this country. I know how much we are making in terms of naira, in terms of dollar. We can compare our economy together with the United States.
Is that right?
Oh yes.
This country has money. Sense of modesty.
Honestly speaking, this country has money. Where's the money?
Of course, that's what Nigerians are asking. I also posing to the Senate,
if you
the
look,
National Assembly.
If you look all the probes that is going on now, from the House of Representatives and in the Senate, in all sectors, you will see corruption. It's either one sector did not remit what they are earning to a federation account, or put it in a special account which you cannot even account for. I'm not confused. I'm not confused because if care is not taken, only God knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Because I'm sad. Whenever you travel all over the world, you will see how government is being run by other people.
In other words, are you saying that we're spending rather too much, trying to run an expensive government, an over-bloated government?
Yes, of course. Not really over-bloated, but
which still boils down to the corruption issue.
Of course, there's much of corruption, which in his own wisdom, Mr. President wisdom, can tackle it if he wants to do it.
But of course, he can't do it alone. He will need the help of his
our own
Council and of course the National Assembly.
Yes, our own is for just to oversight, do our oversight function, go to their books and look at it, and to recommend. But anytime the Senate recommend anything, we just saw where we forward this thing to them, and in return, nothing. What can we do?
What's the President's stand of the Senate concerning the 2013 budget presently? Because we've had a little bit of controversy over that. Some money is being removed by the National Assembly and the Federal Executive Council, saying no, you can't take away some monies and put in some other sectors because it's not going to run properly and all of that. Where does the Senate actually stand on that? Are we still dealing with that?
Let me tell you something. In the Constitution empowers the National Assembly to appropriate where it's necessary. To appropriate. We have the power to appropriate. Without the National Assembly, there's no democracy. Democracy is the government of the people, by the people. I see no reason why the power of the executive is to go and lay down the budget proposal to the National Assembly.
But they did that.
It's we, the National Assembly, has the power to appropriate, not the executive. The money belongs to the people of this country. We know what is going on in United States, even in UK. The other time, the chairman of appropriation in House of Rep in United States, he has his own budget. Obama brought his own budget, they rejected it. That's the constitution given to them. That's the power of the people. What we say is the people. The money is not belongs, is not going to put in my pocket. What the constitution says, even if you have a disagreement, if the executive didn't believe what we did, the constitution said, return it back. But in as much as we sign and it puts its own asset, you must bring a supplementary budget, not amendment. There's no way it's written in the constitution that after you sign and you take it back again for amendment. No, it's never done. If the constitution is the law and you didn't obey it, it's impeachable offense. If it's a country that we are committed, honestly speaking, by now we could have started what the constitution gave us as a responsibility.
And you mean that would be to impeach the
Of course,
president?
yes. What's going on in this country? Nobody's just don't seem to be, everything's impunity. I don't know. Nobody's giving respect to the Constitution. Nobody's respecting the people of the country whom you are govern.
Perhaps that's where the issue of the constitutional amendment now comes in. I mean,
Of
we have a Senate committee working on that one, and they've come up with some recommendations so far. How do you think that will
Yes,
go?
in that also, there's no way you can have a good constitution if you are still in this system of take all. For instance, the state police, well, say the majority will have their way. We, as opposition, we want state police. And some people said, oh, the state police, the governors will misuse them. What of the federal police that we have now? If you want to protect the people of this country, we must go to the grassroots. The hoodlums, the armed robbers, they are living within us. That's why we must have state police. State police, the youth of the community will be employed. They know themselves. Sometimes we cannot politicize everything. We must start somewhere. Nigeria is a great country. We must not let it down.
All right, Senator, let's just hold our thoughts for a while and just take this quick break. And when we come back, we shall continue with our discussion. Our guest, Senator Mudashiru Hussain, is still here with us on Question Time. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
You see, life has just got easier. You stay connected to Channels TV, where news and innovations are shaping our world. Simply log on to channelstv.com to get the breaking news. Browse the homepage according to what matters to you. Tap on the extended coverage of business, sports, politics, lifestyle, infotech, entertainment, health, world news, and lots more. Click on the live link and see the news in real time. Do you want to watch the latest video of the day? It's just a click away. Friend us on Facebook, YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Google+, participate in Channels TV poll and share your comments. It's a website you can talk to. Your voice will be heard.
ChannelsTV.com. The news at your fingertips.
You're welcome back. It's still Question Time on Channels Television. Our guest, Senator Mudashiru Hussain, lawmaker from representing the Osun West Senatorial District. He's on the platform of the action on the Congress of Nigeria. And quite a lot has been said so far, looking at the 7th Assembly, the National Assembly, its performances so far, and perhaps some of the challenges that the lawmakers have had to face, particularly as it affects the opposition, which he obviously belongs. But now let's even still talking about this issue of budget in 2013, because it does appear there's some kind of a lull at the moment. Nothing is happening concerning that, and we're already into the mid-year of 2013, and many Nigerians are still wondering what is going to happen. Do we have to wait till the end of the year before we start seeing some kind of improvements in the way we do things? I'm talking about the capital projects now. Execution of projects, which, and I'm sure as a senator representing your constituency, you'll definitely have some things that you want to do for your people. What do you think?
The budget has been signed, so nobody can say they cannot work on the budget. The budget, 2013 budget, has been signed and assent to. To bring an amendment, that does not mean that you should wait until the amendment is approved. The amendment you brought is unconstitutional. As I'm talking to you now, we have a budget of 2013 approved by the both chambers and assented by the Mr. President. So nobody can come tomorrow and say we cannot implement the budget. If he does, I don't know what's going to happen. Because now, as I'm speaking, there's implementation of budget of the 2013 budget. It has been signed to law. We say, if you want amendment, we don't want to work on illegality, send a supplementary. Where you think there is a decrease, or you want us to increase, bring a supplementary budget. Then we will adjust. That's what Constitution says. If you are not ready to complement the Constitution of this country, we are not going to. The budget, as I'm talking, is a signed budget into law. The capital project is there. They're not talking about capital project. They are talking about what do you call it? The overhead. Say National Assembly, they create something, they move one fund, some fund, and increase it to some sector. Oh yeah. If it's true, God, if it's true, they should bring the supplementary. That's simple. You cannot bring the budget that has been signed to a National Assembly again for amendment. It's unconstitutional.
Now, let's zero out down to your constituency now, Osun West Senatorial District. I mean, you represented the people there, and
in the capital project.
What
project,
things can you say?
Look, I need the people of my constituency need water. They need good road. They need federal schools. I put it in my constituency project, and the money is there.
Has it been given to you?
Not yet.
Why?
Well, the only thing is that the money is not given to me as a person. The money is distributed to all various ministries concerned. Ministry of Works, Ministry of Water Resources, through Ogun River Basin Authority, you see, Ministry of Health, of course. You know, in Nigeria, since Obasanjo regime, the budget implementation is not more than 30-40%. That's the culture of implementation in this country. One president will come and say, "Oh, there's no fund." That we are fund. The fund, we are all this remittance go.
Is there any form of monitoring mechanism, that perhaps the National Assembly has been able to adopt?
I told you, our function is to oversight all the ministries and MDAs. But when we do come out with the report, we are not the police, Our job is to send back the report. This is what we see. And this is what we think should be done.
Is it now some kind of is it a lost situation, or is it a hopeless situation? To have the executive and the legislature, to come together and work. Because it's one government. We're not even looking at the judiciary now, because there are three arms of government. We all know. But when you have these conflicts, rampant conflicts between the executive and the legislature, don't you think that it's going to be drawing us backwards?
We are fighting for towards one goal, which is
because Nigerians are really getting tired.
Good governance of this country. That's why we have conflict. What's the basis of fighting? If you have good governance, what we need, the people want employment. How can, if as a father, spend money to send my children to school, from primary to university, getting out without job, the electricity, day in, day out, we always appropriate money, billions of naira, nothing works. The roads, the same thing. Hospital, go to hospital, you normally have, even federal hospital, go to state hospital, you will see how government is running. So that is why we have conflict between the executive and legislators. Because if you have a good governance, that's no basis of controversy. We don't want to compromise. We don't want to compromise.
And do you think this? All right, I guess this is where we have to draw the curtain on this week's edition of the program. We thank you so much for spending time with us. Senator Mudashir Hussain, ACN lawmaker representing the Osun West Senatorial District, and of course, a vice chairman of the Sports Committee in the Senate. Senator, we thank you so much for spending time with us.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is about time for me to draw the curtain for this week, but I would like to appeal to the Senate Committee on Sports, which our guest is the Vice Chairman, to please ensure that the sector is truly revamped with a well-thought-out sports policy that will make it possible for both the government and indeed private organizations to invest greatly in sports, for us to begin to nurture our young talents across the country with the help of world-class facilities, and perhaps in the near future, we will be getting more medals and more laurels and more recognition in and around the world of sports. Well, that's our package. Don't forget you can send us your questions, comments and suggestions to questiontime@channelstv.com, or you can also watch us online via channelstv.com. Many thanks for watching. Till we come your way again next week, it's bye for now.